Has Toyota got it right once again? This is the new Corolla Cross small SUV, and it could be the right car for you for a whole bunch of reasons. Stay tuned and you'll find out why. If you've watched any of my other SUV reviews, you'll probably know that I've already mentioned the Corolla Cross in a few of them. That's because this car basically seems like the Goldilocks zone for a small SUV buyer. It's not too big, it's big on the inside, it has hybrid powertrains available, it's decently priced, maybe a little bit expensive, more on that soon, but is it going to be the right car for you? Stay tuned, we'll figure it out together. Thanks for watching. My name's Matt. This is The Right Car. Like I said, I'm trying to help you find the right car for your needs. Please do like, subscribe, and hit me up in the comments if there's anything you want to say, or if you just want to let me know which car I should review next. There are 3 different versions available for the Toyota Corolla Cross, but each of them has the choice of petrol power or petrol-electric hybrid powertrains. So, let's start off at the entry-level version, which is this one. It's called the GX, and it's priced from $33,000 before on-road costs for the petrol, and add $2,500 for this hybrid version. It gets a few nice things for that kind of money, including 17-inch alloy wheels, cloth interior trim, an 8-inch touchscreen media system, and keyless entry and push-button start. It's also got LED headlights, but halogen daytime running lights for some reason, which looks really dorky if you ask me. And it does definitely offer a fair bit of value for money if you are on a bit more of a budget. But I will say this, I think that you can get a pretty good Toyota RAV4 for not a whole lot more money. So make sure that this is the right size for you, because the RAV4 might actually be the right car for you. And then there's also the GXL, which is the next step up the price range, and it costs a few grand more model for model at least. And it adds the choice of an all-wheel drive hybrid powertrain too. It adds nice things as well, including sat-nav, a 360-degree camera, and it's also got a bigger touchscreen media system and part leatherish trim on the inside. And then there's the top spec model, the Atmos, which comes with the choice of petrol front-wheel drive or hybrid in front or all-wheel drive. And it does have a few extras that might appeal to some buyers, including 18-inch alloy wheels, it's got a panoramic sunroof, and it's got leather accented seats, heated front seats, and a heated steering wheel as well. It is pretty pricey though. If you are looking for a small SUV, but you're not sure about Toyota for whatever reason, then you could consider a Kia Seltos, which is a very good compact crossover model. It does have some frustrating safety technology, but it does come with a turbocharged all-wheel drive petrol model and a front-wheel drive petrol non-turbo. No hybrids in that mix though, so it might not be right for you if that's what you're after. And then there's the Nissan Qashqai, which I think is one of the most impressive new small SUVs out there. It is expensive though, but I think the pick of the range is the ST Plus, and it's about $40,000 drive away. So it's pretty competitively priced with something in this sort of realm. The Corolla Cross isn't that small. It's more than 4.4 meters long, so it's not the biggest small SUV out there, but if you are after something really compact, then the Yaris Cross might actually be a better bet for you. There's one thing I just want to show you before we get to the boot space. It's the back doors. Now they don't open that wide, so some other cars in this part of the market do offer a 90-degree opening door. That's not 90 degrees, so it can mean if you're a fuller figured human, you might find that putting a child in or out of a baby seat could be a little bit annoying. Now, let's check out the boot. There's a fair bit to talk about here. Boot space in the Toyota Corolla Cross is almost a variant by variant thing. There are so many different figures depending on the spec that you choose in the powertrain as well. Just know this, that if you choose a petrol front-wheel drive model, you're going to get the biggest boot available to you. Now this one is the hybrid front-wheel drive, and it's still got a very sizable boot space, and in fact it's much bigger than a hybrid Haval Jolion, for instance. And there's also a space saver spare wheel under the boot floor, so it's got the boot thing sorted pretty well. Don't go expecting anything too flashy if you are going to buy a Corolla Cross, at least if you're choosing the base model, because it does feel little bit drab in here, and that is because it is basically just a base model Corolla replicated in this SUV body style. So you do miss out on a few things that you might want, including a leather lined steering wheel. It's just a polyurethane plasticky job in this base model car, which isn't the nicest thing. Funnily enough though, it does have climate control air conditioning on this base model car. This 8-inch touchscreen isn't too bad to use, and it does have a volume knob, which is good. And I like that there are manual air conditioning controls too. You've got a single USB port down here for charging and also running Apple CarPlay through the screen. No wireless charger in this base model GX. You get a pretty decent sized little center console bin here with a USB-C charger and a 12 volt as well. You've got 2 cup holders, decent sized bottle holders in the doors, and the seats are pretty comfy. It's not too bad in here. I guess there is one nice feature on this base model car, and that is a full digital instrument cluster. It's a 7-inch screen in front of the driver. There are some elements to it that aren't digital, but if you choose the top spec version, you get a 12.3-inch digital display, which does make a bit of difference to the cabin feel as well. There's just one more thing I wanted to add before we jump into the back seat. I don't like that it's got a dark headliner. There's no real reason for it to have, and I think if it was light at the top, it might actually make it feel a little bit more airy inside. Now, back seat space, let's have a look. Backseat space in the Corolla Cross. I'm 182 centimeters, 6 foot tall. This seat is set for my driving position. I've got enough knee room, enough foot room, enough shin room, enough head room. It's pretty spacious in here. In fact, I'd say it's one of the better small SUVs when it comes to backseat space. Not the best. If you are after an SUV that does have a lot of rear seat space, but not a massive footprint, then maybe check out the Haval Jolion. Check out my review. I've done one up there. If you hit the link at the top of your screen, you'll be able to watch that. So there's some things in here you will appreciate, but some things are missing compared to its rivals. So you've got a pair of directional air vents down here. No USB charge ports. I guess you could hijack the one in the center console up front. There's no center armrest in this GX grade, so no cup holders, but you do get cup holders in the door armrests. The seat comfort is pretty good. It's nice and squishy, if that's the right terminology. Yeah, you're going to be comfortable back here as an adult. If you do have kids, there are dual ISOFIX points in the window seats. There's 3 top tether points as well. And there's 1 map pocket on the passenger side front seat. So yeah, it's not too bad, but it doesn't necessarily set any new standards. And like I said, that black headlining, not my favorite thing. Under the bonnet of the Toyota Corolla Cross, you've got the choice of the entry-level petrol engine, a 2-litre 4-cylinder non-turbo engine, the same one as you get in the regular Corolla range, and it has pretty good power and torque outputs. It's front-wheel drive and it has a CVT automatic transmission. And then there's the hybrid versions, which is the one that most people are going to choose or want at least, and it has a 2-litre 4-cylinder engine as well, but assisted by an electric motor and a battery pack. So if you choose the front-wheel drive model, you get an electric motor at the front axle. If you choose all-wheel drive, you get an additional motor at the back. Yeah, this is going to suit a lot of people. The Toyota Corolla Cross is going to be a really easy car to live with, and that's one of its most attractive attributes. It's just easy going. I mean, the hybrid version at least is an absolute charmer. It's very powerful and punchy. It's got enough grunt for a family of 4 or 5, and it's also a really good urban commuter car because it isn't that big and it's pretty easy to park. So let me tell you a little bit more about the powertrain. Obviously, this one is that hybrid 2-litre petrol-electric, and it is a pretty punchy thing. You can feel the difference between electric power and petrol power, and you'll notice there's a little thing that comes up on the dashboard to tell you if you're driving in EV mode or not. And it will dip in and out of EV mode a lot because it wants to make the best use of the powertrain that's available to it. And EV mode is going to be a lot more efficient if you are in urban settings. If you're doing a lot of stop-start traffic, it'll be using EV quite a lot. You can hear the petrol engine kick in when it needs to, and it does offer a pretty good amount of pulling power. I don't think I'd be choosing a petrol version. I'd definitely invest in the hybrid tech because I think it's going to save you money in the long term, potentially retain more value as well. So that could be important to you too. The CVT automatic, some people hate them. I don't think they're that bad, and especially in this car with this application, It's pretty good, in fact. Some people might find the suspension to be a little bit firm, and it's not necessarily the cushiest ride, but I don't think it's too bad. It is definitely picking up on little bits of bumpy stuff in the road surface below, and it can be a little bit chatty and maybe a little bit brittle, which is a word that us car journos love to use when the car isn't necessarily ironing out all the bumps below it. But I don't think it's a deal breaker by any stretch. I think it actually drives pretty nicely. And while it is reasonably quiet at most speeds, the coarse chip surfaces of Australia can be pretty loud and throw a lot of noise into the cabin. One thing I wanted to call out that I haven't been impressed by in this car is the brake pedal feel. In a lot of other Toyota hybrid models, they've managed to make it feel more conventional in the actuation of the pedal. So it feels like when you put your foot on the brake, it's gonna just come to a nice progressive halt. Whereas in this car, it's a bit more jumpy. You do have to balance the brake pedal a little bit more than you would think, and it feels like it's almost got like an air pocket at the top of the pedal that you have to press through before the brakes start to bite, and that could be the regen braking coming into effect. But it is a little bit annoying, especially in low speed driving and stop start driving. I also had one instance where the car did this weird thing where it felt like it was ABS braking for no reason. If you want an efficient small SUV, the Toyota Corolla Cross could be the right car for you because it does have a very low official combined cycle fuel consumption figure. For the front wheel drive hybrids, it's 4.3 litres per 100 Ks across a mix of driving. That's the claim at least. And if you choose the all-wheel drive hybrid, it's 4.4 litres per 100. Still very, very efficient. And if you are after the petrol version, its official number is 6 litres per 100, so still quite low. If you're wondering what I've seen in my time, in a week of driving in this GX Corolla Cross hybrid front wheel drive, it's on your screen now. Yeah, impressive. The Toyota Corolla Cross achieved the maximum 5-star ANCAP safety rating in 2022, and so it comes loaded with standard safety equipment, including autonomous emergency braking with pedestrian, cyclist and junction detection. Plus, there's lane keeping assistance, blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert, and if you choose one of the GXL or Atmos versions, you also get rear AEB, including pedestrian detection, which I think should be standard. If you're offering it on two, you may as well offer it on all of them. And again, if you choose the GXL or Atmos versions, you also get a surround view camera system, which is worth the money. Just like every other Toyota, you get a 5-year unlimited kilometre warranty for the Corolla Cross and 7 years of powertrain cover if you do service your car on time. Now that extends out to 10 years of battery warranty if you make sure that you service your car on time with Toyota, so they can do a health check every time it's in the garage. Service intervals are 12 months or 15,000 Ks, no matter whether you choose the petrol or the hybrid versions, which is good. And there's no roadside assistance included, but you can spend extra and get it if you want it. I reckon the Toyota Corolla Cross could be the right car for a whole bunch of people for a whole bunch of reasons, because it is basically a really sweet spot in the range. And in terms of pricing, while it is a little bit expensive and the GX doesn't feel that special, I reckon the GXL could be the best car in the lineup. Tell me what you think though. Would you choose it? Would you choose something different? Have you already ordered a Corolla Cross? And are you waiting for it? Let me know in the comments section below. I'd love to hear from you. And please, if you haven't already, like, subscribe and hit the bell. It helps a lot. I'll see you in the next one.